All right. Hey, everyone. People are saying, shut up, Nasser. Already? Already? Yes. I don't know. I don't think Nasser needs to be kicked. Not when he's not here. Yes. Well, good evening, everyone. It's good to be here early. I mean, look, we're starting the show a little bit early tonight. Well, sometimes you have to start the show early. Let's get everything set up here. I promise I will not be chewing gum this time. Will not be chewing gum. Hi, everyone. Comic Artist Pro Secrets here. My name is Ethan Van Sciver. I am a 25-year veteran of this comic book industry. This comic book industry, it's still the same, isn't it? It's still the same comic book industry that it always was, I hope. No, it's not. What on earth is going on? What is going on? Yeah. 356 people watching right now. Appreciate it. Lama Gigante says gum equals pie. Well, I mean, you have to trust me. You know, when I tell you that it is gum and not pie, you have to take my word. I would actually let you guys know if it was pie. Would I eat pie live? No. I would spare you that. I would spare you. I would spare you pie. Yeah. Let's see. Hello, everyone. Hello. Mainstream comics are dead to me, says Max Hammer. Uh-oh. No. You gotta keep believing. Don't you? Don't you want to still believe in everything? Look, guys, I woke up, took a little nap. Took a little nap this afternoon so that I could start staying up later and later working on these pages. And it's like every time I turn on the internet, every time I fire up the interwebs, there's some new gigantic attack. There's some new weirdness. There's some new panic attack. Everyone calm down. This is Comicsgate. It's hell. War is hell. Culture war is hell. And I'll tell you something, I've always been somebody who roots for the underdog every single time. Usually I find that the underdog is right. And I think that it's just more fun. It's more fun to be on the side of the underdog. And we are the underdog here. It's us versus the entire industry. And for what? For what? What are we asking for? We're asking them to stop being moral busybodies. We're asking them to stop putting their politics in comics all the time. Why is it always a one-way street? We're just asking them for very, very simple things. And it's, well, I'll tell you, it's a little like walking into it's like turning the lights on in a vampire cave. Was that the Lost Boys? Where and the lights come on and then everybody starts shrieking. That's what the comic book industry is right now. What do we do? I've loved comics my whole life. I've loved these characters. How did we let it get like this? How did we let it get to this point where people with bad intentions, with politics, with choking, like strangling far leftist politics, are able to basically control and manipulate and dictate what like the politics of these characters. It's crazy what people are reading right now. And by the way, and it's not just that. That's not a big problem. That if comic books were all kind of far left wing, that would be one thing. But my God, any deviancy from this, any criticism of this path leads to a very strange kind of harassment. It is safer just to kind of denounce. It's safer to denounce Comicsgate, even though in your heart we're right. Of course, we're right. Now today, we are providing an alternative. Today, I woke up and people were sad about Frank Cho. First of all, why Frank Cho? Well, because this is what they're doing now. I mean, now basically anti-Comicsgate thinks that they'll win this war if they can just get everyone. Like they think they're the Care Bears and they can do the Care Bear stare and basically fire rainbows from their stomachs. And that'll make us go away. But they're not the Care Bears. They're some awful, horrible gremlin. And what comes out of their tummies is not rainbow light. It's fecal matter. And so if they all stand together and fire poop from themselves, Actually, maybe they're not firing it from their bellies. Maybe we should think about this. Maybe we should think about this analogy a little bit more. Maybe they're not the Care Bears that are firing rainbows from their bellies. Maybe they're disgusting little ghoulies that are firing poop from somewhere else. And God only knows we've seen enough of their nether regions at this point to be worried, okay, to be a little afraid of what might be coming our way. We have seen it. So Frank Cho, how did this start? So Gail Simone, to start with, came out and basically said, hey, Comicsgate started. Comicsgate started when some nice girls from Marvel Comics actually, just posted a nice selfie of themselves, smiling and happy, drinking some milkshakes, and they were harassed. They were endlessly harassed, and that is what Comicsgate is. Comicsgate fights for the right to harass nice girls, posting selfies of themselves on Twitter drinking milkshakes. That's what Comicsgate fights for. That's not what Comicsgate fights for at all. That's not what Comicsgate is all about. And that's not what that incident was about. And that's not where Comicsgate even began. And I had to actually go back in time, but rewind things a little bit, and just kind of make things clear. Like, where did Comicsgate really start? Like, where did social justice warriors really start to emerge? These weirdos, these Marxists, where did they start to emerge and start taking names, start kicking ass and taking names? Here's the thing: in order to actually continue down this path, like, they really have to succeed. They had to have a success, and they did have a success. They had a big success with Milo Manara and Frank Cho. Milo Manara first, of course, and Frank Cho was actually appalled by what happened to Milo Manara. It's hard when you're in the business. You've studied your whole life. You've studied the female form. Well, many of us have studied the female form our whole lives, but I mean in a very disciplined way, in an artistic way. When that's been your whole career is based on just trying to understanding the human form, specifically the female form, and finding a way to exaggerate it in beautiful ways. That's what Cheesecake is all about. That's what these pinup artists do. And it's good. It's great. Now, is it porn? We worry about that. We worry about that. Does it cross the line into porn? Your Uncle Ethan would not talk about porn with you, except to denounce it. Because I don't want it on my show. We don't want porno on Comicsgate or on Comic Artist Pro Secrets. That's a quick way to lose your YouTube channel. So no, it's not porn. It's art. Of course it's art. The exaggeration of human form has always been art. That's what art is based on. It's an endless study. It never stops. Now, fortunately, I have subverted that by studying frogs. Now, I get to worry about the exaggeration of form when it comes to amphibians. But many people like Frank Cho, have gotten into the business and the art of they've turned their art into the business of representing the female form in a beautiful way. And that is every reason to give Frank Cho and artists like him work on some of these powerful female characters. That is why you do want to put Frank Cho or Milo Manara or J. Scott Campbell, another person who's been harassed and persecuted by SJWs for these reasons, these very reasons. That is why you want to put them on these books where they can glorify the female form, show it off, make it look cool, make it look powerful, make it look awesome, make it look sexy. Now, weirdos call that the male gaze. And they try to demonize that. They don't want men looking at women. They don't want men portraying women as sexy, beautiful. They think that's objectifying them. They think that's, about owning a property. It's about kind of making women into objects that can be obtained. I don't know about that. That's a whole subject of mental illness that I don't really want to get into. I just want to say women are beautiful, and beautiful women are even more beautiful. Okay, it's as simple as that. All women are beautiful. Well, you know what I mean. And beautiful women are even more beautiful. So thank God we have artists like Frank Cho. Thank God we have artists like J. Scott Campbell. Thank God we have artists like Milo Manara. Now, it is not necessary for Frank Cho to understand or agree with Comicsgate. That's not the point. I would love Frank Cho to kind of join us, only because, Frank Cho would come over here. He would crowdfund a comic book that would do very, very, very well. I would love to just kind of help him promote his comic book. I don't know if he needs that. I don't. He's Frank Cho. He's a fantastic artist, but Frank Cho should know better. And the fact that he was quick to come out and denounce Comicsgate today because I mentioned him on my Gail Simone stream. I said, this is where Comicsgate started. You want to know where Comicsgate started? It was basically right here. All right, so here's The Guardian. Well, The Guardian. We have been victimized by The Guardian only recently. When did this come out? Okay, so this is 2016. Now, I think Comicsgate started around 2014. That's when a lot of weirdness started to happen. That's when social justice warriors began to be emboldened and do crazy things and really start to assert themselves at your expense. I mean, getting Frank Cho off of Wonder Woman for his vulgar, look at vulgar in quotes here, for getting getting this guy off of Wonder Woman and no longer allowing you guys to purchase Wonder Woman covers drawn by Frank Cho. That is the effort of social justice warriors. So, I mean, you guys are the victims of this. I mean, you are, at the end of the day, you're the victims of this. And we can talk about how retailers are the biggest victim of social justice warriors in comics. We could talk about that. But at the moment, let's just talk about Frank Cho. And Frank Cho is another victim of this. Now, he might not want to just admit it right now, or he might just be like, look, I don't want the acre ton of fecal matter that's going to come my way by these Care Bear ghoulies bent over. You know what I mean? They're weirdo Care Bear stare in reverse. It's an awful, horrific Care Bear stare. That's the worst kind of Care Bear stare. When a bunch of little colorful ghoulies, social justice warriors. Yeah, I mean, that's awful. That's disgusting. I don't want to be on the other end of that. I don't want to be on the receiving end of that. That's a denunciation from hell. I don't want it. I've already been through it. I've had to lose the job that I wanted here on Wonder Woman because of them. I'm not looking for any more trouble. I'll fight them in my own way. And that's kind of what Frank Cho was saying here. He said, I'll fight them in my own way. I'm not going to get mixed up with Comicsgate. I just, I'm not going to. And how do we know he doesn't know anything about Comicsgate? Because he just recites pretty much what they dream that he'll recite. The Comicsgate is alt-right. We are not alt-right. We just got in big trouble for fighting off the alt-right, didn't we? Remember? Yeah. We just got in big trouble by defeating the alt-right, by pushing them out of Comicsgate. Very out in the open. That was funny though. I did have a good time with that. So Frank Cho quits. So this is from 2016. Frank Cho quits in row over vulgar covers, commissioned to produce 24 variant covers, and he wanted this job. Frank Cho wanted this job so badly. In fact, he was doing something for Marvel, wasn't it? And then they brought him over to DC because they tempted him. The carrot on the stick was Wonder Woman covers. Oh, hell yeah. Who doesn't want to do Wonder Woman covers? Cho has pulled out after 6. So we only got to do 6 of his 24 covers, citing attempts to censor his work for, quote, showing too much skin. Now that's a difficult thing for anyone to claim, about an artist who's drawing Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman does, I don't know. I mean, she's about 30% covered up and the rest of her is all skin. What would you like? What would you like? In a dispute that may be too much for even legendary diplomatic skills of Wonder Woman, comic book artist Frank Cho has quit his job drawing covers. He quit. He was pressured. He was pressured out. He was fired, in essence. You quit or you go. Citing attempts to censor his work for being too revealing. Cho, who was asked by DC to create variant covers for a series of Wonder Woman comics, said in a statement to Bleeding Cool that his issue lay with writer Greg Rucka, social justice warrior. #1 on Twitter right now with one of those Ghostbusters signs, the slash right through it. You know what I'm talking about? And it says 45. It looks like a Nazi insignia. So in other words, the president of the United States is a Nazi, and then we're putting a slash through him. So that's Greg Rucka working at DC Comics and pushing out great artists like Frank Cho. Everyone loves my Wonder Woman covers, that's right, and wants me to stay. Greg Rucka is the only one who has any problem with my covers. Look at this. This is brave. Greg Rucka has been trying to alter and censor my work since day one, Cho told the site. According to Cho, Rucka, who would decline to comment, found his third Wonder Woman cover vulgar and said it showed too much skin. My goodness. My goodness. By the way, you can see down here, this is the Milo Manara Spider-Woman cover. This piece right here, although I'm not crazy about it, it's still a beautiful piece of artwork. This is what kicked off Comicsgate right here. The right for an artist to draw this is beautiful. I mean, it's look, it's a beautifully done cover. Nobody should be criticizing this. This is marvelous. But no, it's too sexual. God forbid comics be sexual. God forbid women be sexualized within the comics. We have to put a stop to that right now. Stop that right now. Yeah, and we've seen where that path has led us, from this being worse than Hitler, all the way to today, whereas Carol Danvers has become Carl Manvers. She looks exactly like Justin Bieber now. They are doing weird things with the female form that I can't understand. I don't understand what's going on. When you see the way that they are drawing breasts on women now, I'm not somebody who cares about this. I draw frogs. But I do understand how the environment, the editorial environment, can be manipulated through fear of social justice warriors, so that the artists themselves are like, I'm afraid to draw boobs. I mean, it gets to that point where you just go, I'm actually afraid to draw boobs on a woman. I better just draw some weird grilled cheese sandwich shape kind of across her chest and just say, I don't know, it's the spandex that's pulled so tight. I don't know, they're smashed down and they've lost all form, and it's now one boob and not two. And just leave me alone. I don't want to be treated like Greg Rucka treated Frank Cho. I don't want to be treated like the Mary Sue treated Milo Manera. I don't want to. I just want to be left alone. That is the effects of this kind of weirdo Marxism, these weirdo social justice warriors on art and on comics, and everything that we love. Yeah, everything that we love. Now, that's gonna change. All of that's gonna change. Women aren't gonna look like this anymore. Women are gonna look weirder and weirder and weirder, and that's mainstream comics. That's what they wanna sell to the mainstream. And they're non-returnable, by the way. They're non-returnable. So, if you buy a copy of Spider-Woman and she looks like a little bit like a man, and you can't sell them because nobody wants to buy that, because people kind of they like sexy Spider-Woman. There's a little bit of a fantasy that goes on when you're picking up Spider-Woman or one of these books. You want Wonder Woman to look pretty. You want her to look like she's showing a little skin. She's a little bit sexy. She's a little bit kind of the Greek warrior kind of. You want to see a little bit of that, and you want to see big boobs, because that's what women. That looks great. That's an idealized version of what women look like. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with it. Women out there have big boobs. Should they be ashamed? Tape them down. Women who have big boobs, tape them down. You are part of the problem. You are POP. Anyway, Cho called Rucka's objections baffling, since my Wonder Woman, quote, my Wonder Woman image is on model and shows the same amount of skin as the interior art. And so the author had a quote unquote weird political agenda. Thank you, Frank Cho. You may not know it. You may not want to admit it. You may want to say whatever you want to say. You are Comicsgate, Frank Cho. You are. You just don't know what Comicsgate is, or you're pretending not to because you don't wish to be persecuted against. And that's fine. I understand. This is no fun. I've got people writing to me all the time who are just like, I'm with you, but I got a mortgage. I got, yeah, I know. I would never say, Frank Cho, come over here and be Comicsgate. I wish that you would. Pretty soon, that's going to be a pretty viable alternative. And when it does become a very viable alternative, you're going to see the gates open up, and you're going to see a lot of people saying, you know what, screw this. I want to draw boobs again. I want to draw women that look like beautiful women. I don't want to have to listen to far left wingers telling me what I'm supposed to draw and what's not right. Listen, we're not the Amish. Comics have become some kind of weird Amish puritanical cult, telling artists what to draw, how not to draw. My God. What are we doing here? What are we trying to sell? I thought we were trying to sell cheeseburgers. I thought we were trying to sell cheesecake. No? Okay. On Facebook, he confirmed that the 6th issue of the Wonder Woman comic would be the last variant cover. He is commissioned to be. Has been commissioned to produce 24. Cho's portrayal of women in comic books has been controversial in the past. Yeah, of course it is. He draws sexy cheesecake images of all of the female characters, all of them. He draws women with big boobies, and everyone loves Frank Cho. In 2015, Cho published an image of the teenage Spider-Gwen. This is interesting right here. This thing was interesting. You want to go back to Robbie the Rectum, the guy who sent me a selfie of his butthole? Frank Cho was the first person to have trouble with, well, at least the first person that I know of, to have trouble with Robbie the Rectum. Frank Cho published an image of teenage Spider-Gwen, alluding to the infamous Milo Manara cover. So he drew Spider-Gwen like this, in a quote-unquote sexualized pose on all fours. In response to subsequent online criticism, Cho produced a series of covers with other female characters in the same pose and later donated $1,000 raised from the sale of his Spider-Gwen image to a domestic violence charity. Quote, "It was fascinating, amusing, and appalling to see the overzealous critics of my art use faux outrage." Frank Cho, do you want to reconsider? Can I reassure you, we are not the alt-right. Most of us, I think, at this point, aren't even Republicans. We're just normal people who feel exactly the way you feel and feel this problem has gotten worse. I understand. I understand. To air their personal demons and imagined injustices on the world. Damn, I love Frank Cho. I can't stress enough what utter nonsense and a wasted time and energy this whole event has been. Online commentary about Cho's departure from the Wonder Woman project drew support from both sides. Frank Cho is a huge talent, blah, blah, blah. All right, so very good. It's true. Frank Cho, this was the beginning. Frank Cho lost his job on Wonder Woman because of social justice warriors who basically persecuted him for it. Robbie the Rectum, by the way, when Frank Cho decided to parody this, Robbie the Rectum sent him a tweet threatening his life. That was weird. That was a weird thing that happened. Let's see if I can find that. I should be more prepared. What do you guys think in the chat? Yeah, people are saying I'm not a Republican here. By the way, while you're sitting here, would you guys smash the like button? I'm a little worried about doing live streams. If you guys want to show support for my live streams and continuing to do live streams, no, I've heard from both sides of the aisle here. But if you are pro live stream and you want me to do more of them, what you can do to support that is as soon as you walk into this live stream, hit that thumbs up button. Okay, and let's get the thumbs up. And that will actually show YouTube that these live streams are popular and we should do more of them. Frank Cho. Hobby. Do a quick Google search. I mean, you could do this at home, but, this is the show. Why wouldn't I just show that for you? Frank Cho versus Robbie Rodriguez. Do we have to go to Bleeding Cool? All right. Yeah, Bleeding Cool. Yeah. All right. Yeah, here it is. Are you guys hitting that like button? I'm afraid to even look. What if nobody hits the like button? What if I'm like, can you guys hit the like button? And you guys are like, no, F you. Oh my God, that would hit me right through the heart, like an arrow right through the heart. All right, let's screen share again. It's boomer time. By the way, I was thinking about Boomer and then I was thinking about Left 4 Dead. And I was like, you know what? Maybe I'll use the Left 4 Dead Boomer as an avatar for every time I do something stupid. And then I looked at the Boomer again and I went, no, I'm not going to do that. I'm not going to use that as an avatar for me. Feel free to if you'd like to, but I won't be doing that. Okay. Fanboy Rampage, Frank Cho versus Robbie Rodriguez. So this is 2015. This is Robbie Rodriguez is the gentleman with purple hair who has now been satirized by the great Cecil. He is a character on the show, Robbie the Rectum. So earlier this week, after seeing many of the Frank Cho Spider-Gwen outrage covers, Robbie Rodriguez, am I going to be allowed to see this? No, because I'll bet Robbie blocked me. Did he block me? He took his whole Twitter down. Did he take his whole Twitter down? Now I'm not going to be able to show you what this is. There goes the thumbs down. Bunch of thumbs down. Robbie Rodriguez basically, you're going to have to take my word for it, I guess. Robbie Rodriguez basically threatened Frank Cho and said, you're lucky. He said, you drawing my character, Spider-Gwen, on all fours like that, she's like my daughter. So you're lucky I don't see you at a convention. Threatened him. It's dreadful. That's absolutely dreadful. So anyway, that is the beginning. Now, at this moment, Frank Cho made a statement today because I mentioned him. I said, what happened to Frank Cho was the start of Comicsgate. Now, at no point did I say Frank Cho was Comicsgate. It doesn't matter. You don't have to be fighting with us for us to fight for you. What Frank Cho did started out. Let me see. Here we go. This is good. What Frank Cho did was the start of Comicsgate. What happened to him? What happened to him began Comicsgate. It began people's concern about political weirdos controlling and manipulating comics. Now look at this. Here's Frank Cho's statement. It has come to my attention from various sources. Now, who are those various sources? You want to take a guess? Basically, let's remember one thing. Let's realize one thing that's going on right now. Right now, there are a number of social justice warriors that are basically going to big name professionals and saying, "You haven't spoken out against Comicsgate. Do you want to do that? You want to do that? You want to do that? You better do that. You should do that." The fact that we've only had a couple of people actually do it is pretty reassuring. I think most people are kind of keeping quiet about it and seeing where it goes. Obviously, we are winning the day. We are not a hate group. This is ridiculous. We are not any of this nonsense. All right, so look at this. Frank Cho, artist. It has come to my attention from various sources. Those would be the people who are putting pressure on him to comment about this, that people are associating me with Comicsgate. No, we're not. We're not associating you with Comicsgate. You are a part of the history of why Comicsgate exists, Frank, and there's nothing you can do about that. I'm sorry. And we just read your words. You sound like us, an alt-right hate group in the comic book field. All right, Frank, we are not alt-right. We are not alt-right. We're Republicans. I'm a Republican. I think I'm about as right-wing as we get. Well, maybe Mike S. Miller is a little more right-wing than me. Let me think if anyone's more. Well, Chuck Dixon might be. I don't know. Well, listen, I'm a Republican. I'm not a hate group. I don't hate people. This is not a hate group at all. We are the victims and targets of a smaller hate group that is actually leached. It is actually a leech, a parasite within comic books, the comic book industry itself, the comic book field. Those people are directing you, Frank Cho, to not stand up for yourself, to kind of cuck out here and say, hey, I'm not them. Leave me alone. I don't want to go through that anymore. That's fine. I don't blame you. You don't have to. You don't have to do this. We're still going to fight for you. What happened to you was wrong. It's not just happening to you. It's happening to other people. We don't need your support, or we don't really need your permission. We don't need you to sign up. We don't need you to, and I don't want you to. I wish that people like this would actually just be quiet, but I understand there's going to be some pressure here, and this might be a chance for him to kind of turn all that around. As a proud liberal Democrat, I'm against everything Comicsgate stands for. Are you really? As a proud liberal Democrat, you're against free speech? As a proud liberal Democrat, you're against the arts. You're against that. You're against people being able to use comic books to speak their point of view. You're against people fighting about the fact that right wingers within comics cannot get work within comics. You're proud. You're against everything that Comicsgate stands for. You're against creative freedom. You're against fighting the politicization. You're against using the comic book industry. You're against people who are fighting using the comic book industry as a megaphone to shout far left wing, as you called it. What did you call it again? What did you call these people? Let me see. Weird political agenda. So you are now pro people with a weird political agenda? That's interesting. Well, that's fine. That makes sense. You can turn on a dime. I honestly, I don't blame these people. All right, let's see. Stop sharing. Boy, this is totally boomerish of me. All right, so where were we again? All right, so he's pro equal rights. That's good. So are we. Pro diversity. So are we. Pro comics. So are we. I always believe that everyone is welcomed at the comic table. Well, then you are not against Comicsgate. Because we are not being welcomed at the comic book table. That's why we had to strike out on our own. And no one group should try to force another to their idea of what is normal and what is not normal. Frank Cho, thank you for basically saying that you are Comicsgate. And then he says, so let me be clear where I stand. Fuck Comicsgate. So that's nice. Why is Jennifer Lawrence, District 12, Hunger Games? What is this all about? Hashtag Jennifer Lawrence, District 12, Hunger Games. I have no idea why that's in there. So a lot of Comicsgate kids are upset today. They feel betrayed. They feel very sad that Frank Cho has said fuck Comicsgate and called you a hate group. You know better than that. You know better than that. Yeah. Cho deleted his Twitter, says Testosterone Overload. When? Now? Look. I don't know. I think it's a shame. Cho is a hostile witness. Let me read some of these super chats. And by the way, now I'll invite other people in. I was going solo for a little while. I was going solo tonight just to get this out. I didn't want to have to talk over Nasser. You'll understand. Didn't want to have to talk over Nasser. But now that it's verging on 9 o'clock, I did say I was going to let people in. And I'm going to go ahead and do that. And then I'll read some super chats for a little while. And we'll get kind of caught up. And I want to hear what everyone else has to say about this. This is, of course, the most important thing that happened in comics today. Paste. Yellow Flash is just listening in. He's in the chat going, Ethan's streaming solo today. Never mind. He's sending the link soon. There's the link. Thank you, Yellow Flash, for monitoring the chat. Enter. He just said, anyone taking bets on Nasser being the first one in?
Hey, buddy.
Oh, hey, how you doing?
I'm all right.
All right. Hold on. So let me close this out.
Yeah, I couldn't find Frank's Twitter, man. I was looking for it.
Well, I didn't even know he had a Twitter. I didn't know. I knew he's on Facebook. I didn't know he was on Twitter. Do you think he's nuked his Twitter? Not over this, dude.
Where was what he said posted?
Facebook. No. Was it? It had hashtags. Was it Instagram? It's probably Instagram.
Huh. I don't know. I was on his Instagram. Here, I can look through his stuff. But
yeah, I don't know. I really don't think Frank Cho.
Yeah, it's Instagram.
It's Instagram. I don't see Frank Cho as somebody who nukes his Twitter over this. He's a fighter. He's always been, and that's fine. I'm still. I mean, here's the thing. When people say I'm not with you because you're this, and this, and what they're saying that you are is not what you are at all. I don't blame him. I don't blame him. It's
Frank, you're 100% wrong about what Comicsgate is. Please inform yourself a little better.
Yeah, you're 100% wrong. And, everything that you used to say, you are, whether you know it or not, you are in alignment with Comicsgate. That's just a fact. All right, hang on. Mike, you entertain these people. I'm going to go get a water bottle out of my fridge, okay?
All righty. Let's see what some of the people on Instagram have been saying too.
Hello, Frank. Mike.
No! No! One lady says, nobody's ever, quote, out of politics. Oh, one person says, unfollow. Use Twitter if you want to be political. By the way, it's Comicsgate, not Comicsgate. Use the correct name if you're going to F something.
How did he do, guys? Let me tell you something. These Comicsgate boys are becoming good broadcasters. I mean, Mike, when you started out, you were a little rocky. You're quite good now.
I'm still a stumblebum.
Kaz5166, never forget Ronnie the Silent. Oh yeah. Poor Ronnie. He got on last night. He was able to creep in here, and then he just kind of couldn't get his microphone to work, so we didn't get to say what we wanted to say. But peace out, Ronnie. We'll get you in here another time. F and Craig, $2. I've gone from 50 titles to just 4. Woo, lad. Woo. Bagel Goose, $2. You just killed Mike Anger's The Last Jedi stream. Shame, says Cecil. I don't know who Mike Anger is. Rezakai, but I hope his stream gets better. Rezakai, how you doing? We got you in here last night. Sad seeing Cho's words, but it was one day after you spoke about him on the stream. Too strong of a coincidence to think it wasn't coerced and pressured. Yeah, that's exactly right. When he said in the beginning of his statement, it's come to my attention. Mike, have you seen his statement on Twitter?
Who?
Frank Cho.
On Twitter?
No. I mean, it was
on Instagram. I just read it.
Okay.
Here, this will boost your viewership real quick.
Oh, it's a kitty cat.
Keep the cat away from me.
Nasser is in here.
Nasser.
Yeah, that'd be a good idea. Frank Cho says, he said, it has come to my attention from various sources. Okay, so that means, he was definitely coerced into making a statement. And they think that's going to help. Again, guys, Care Bear stare all you want. It's not going to work. It's not going to make us go away, and it's not going to make the problem go away. Do you think that Frank Cho and a million people like Frank Cho saying, I'm not, fuck Comicsgate, Do you think Frank Cho saying "fuck Comicsgate" is going to change anything? You're basically telling all of these fans, "Fuck you." And we already know that. They already feel that. They already feel that when they go to the comic store. They already feel "fuck you." They already feel that every time they pick up a comic book. Now, they feel that.
Just reading through the comments, I would say most of the comments he got on his Instagram, meaning like a good percentage of his Instagram followers, are Comicsgate-minded people, because a lot of them are just saying, "Dude, no."
Comicsgate is pretty big.
Ill-informed, et cetera, you know.
Comicsgate's pretty big, and you know, I mean, that's when you're saying that, when you're saying Comicsgate, you're not just directing it at me and Mike. I mean, we hear it. We're like, "Oh, Gus, all right, well, fuck you."
Yeah.
But no, it's not just us. It's really the fandom that you're saying that to. Comicsgate is a fan uprising. It's a consumer revolt. It's not us. It's not me. I'm just part of it. I'm just here saying, "Hey, I agree with you. Can I sell you product?" But that's my role in this. So saying Comicsgate is more like saying "fuck you" to the people who gave me $630,000 for Cyberfrog 1. So if you want to say "fuck you" to those people, that seems counterproductive to me. They just made me rich, so I love them. No, not fuck them. I'm going to sit here and do live streams and stand up for them. Yeah.
Someone's got to inform him. I'm not friends with him. I've only met him a few times, so I can't. Someone who knows him is going to have to inform him properly.
As people are saying, Godiva says, "I will forgive Cho after I get over my heartbreak." Yeah. Look, yeah, true, but it's annoying. I know. Everyone is everyone's saying basically the same thing. Look at this. I went from $150 a week to $0 in terms of spending money on comics. That's a shame. Joseph Meeker says, "You ain't rich yet." That's true. We got a ways to go yet. Let me get my Cyberpunk books out, and hopefully you guys like them, and then I'll be rich. I'll never be rich. I have a little family here. Let me see. All right. So Ollie says, "Too much skin." What the F? Yeah, she should wear a niqab. Was that a hijab? I don't know what a niqab is. You know what a niqab is? Is it Niqab? Or is that a misspelling? Am I just ignorant?
That must be a misspelling.
Okay, but we get your point. Ty says support the live streams. Thanks for $2, Ty. Support the live streams. If you're in here, you're enjoying these daily live streams, Comic Artist Pro Secrets, you can really help out. I mean, the reason why I'm kind of not posting them anymore is because YouTube absolutely throttles my channel when I post, a 4-hour live stream every day. They get angry about it. Well, they don't get angry about it. They go, "Well, we can't really advertise." YouTube's just a machine. So YouTube just looks at that and goes, "Well, it's 4 hours. We can't really advertise on that." And by the way, when he does his 15-minute videos, he gets 20 to 60,000 views. When he does his 4-hour live streams, he gets around 10,000 views. So we're gonna kind of. So anyway, if this matters to you, you can do something very simple. Click the thumbs up, subscribe to this channel, hit the bell for notifications. These are the things that you can do to support this message. You don't have to buy the comics. Some people are like, "I can't afford the comics." Well, you don't have to buy the comics if you can't afford them. But what you can do to support Comicsgate is actually subscribe to these channels. Subscribe to Pro Comicsgate channels and thumbs up the videos, watch the videos. That really, really helps us even more. Well, should I say even more than buying a comic? No, it doesn't. Not more than buying a comic, but equally. So thank you. Michael Rodriguez says, "I'm pro-life, but also pro-live stream." Thank you. I'm glad to hear that. I do like doing them. I love talking.
Shoot, Ethan, I totally forgot I was supposed to be on World Class in about 5 minutes. So
are you going on World Class Bullshit? Oh, good for you.
Yeah.
You can't actually say the name of the channel, can you? Not with your kids around.
They're BSers.
World Class VSers. That's great. Yeah, go over there, man. Tell Jeff I said hello.
All right, man. Have fun.
All right, see you later. We got Ben Jones in here, by the way. Ben Jones from Asgard. How you doing, Ben?
I'm doing good, man. Just been kind of following you with this Frank Cho mess. Feel sorry for the dude.
You feel sorry for Frank Cho?
Yeah, because the one thing that I think the other side of this coin has us beat with is the project of Misinformation. They can get out this narrative about Comicsgate to the layperson that has no idea what's going on in this conflict. And if it's coming from your favorite writer or from your favorite artist, then it must be true. So, and I'm pretty sure Frank Cho probably has no idea. He's been drawing stuff and making money, and somebody was telling him about Comicsgate and all the things that Comicsgate has done, and now he probably believes that. And it's very hard to disprove a narrative once it's out. We can't, it's very hard for us to come back and say that's not what we are. Look, this is what we are. No, no, this is what I heard. My editor and my artist and my friends within my circle have all said it, so it must be true.
Yeah, how do you? I mean, how do you combat that? A lot of times it's about what's more fun to believe. Do
Yes.
you realize that? It's like, what's more fun to believe? Is it more fun to believe that, Comicsgate is what it is, which is just a consumer uprising of people who just are tired of the far left influence in comics? Or is it more fun to believe that they're a hate group? And by
Well,
the way, they're a hate group that you can interact with on Twitter. You can tell these people to fuck off. You
yeah,
can't do that to the KKK because you don't really run into the KKK very often.
exactly.
But we're your neighbors. We're in this industry with you. We just have a different opinion about what comic books should be and about how the business of comics and how it should work. And if you want to call us a hate group, and it's got to be kind of fun to believe that. Then you can tell haters to fuck off, and you can stop being racist.
Hmm. You can't, it's easy to find an enemy and fight against that enemy. So as soon as a group or a person is labeled that enemy, it's easy to go after them. Oh yeah, now I have a target. And all that frustration and everything that you've been going through in life, you can target it at that group or at that person, and then you can charge. It's if you look at the Holy Crusades, how many people crossed the desert to fight the enemy, or that actually didn't really believe in everything, but that was the enemy. So Frank Cho, what I don't understand with him is he was targeted and harassed, because I remember the whole cover incidents.
Yeah.
He was targeted and harassed by these same people, and I don't understand how he could just jump in that boat and row with them when they're the ones that kind of beat him down because of the art that he does. I don't understand that. I mean, you
Well,
jump.
you have a choice, don't you, Ben? I mean, at some point you can surrender. You can say, "Oh my God, they're not picking on me anymore. They're picking on somebody else." Now I can do the switcheroo, and I can get on the side of the. Now he's decided in his mind that they are the winning team, and I think it's it's a sad thing. He's decided that he thinks that's the best risk. It is the best risk. Look, they're the biggest. They're absolutely the biggest. They're going downwards, but they're descending into the side of a mountain. But at least they're all in a big airplane together. We're a small aircraft. We're light aircraft. We're headed upwards. We're headed upwards. They're in a big aircraft. So maybe it's safer to be on the big aircraft. I don't know. I don't know exactly what the reason for this is.
But
Now,
what does he have to gain? I
people
mean,
will
he
leave
still
him
draws
alone.
the same way. So if he puts out the next sexy picture, he's going to get hammered again. That's how he makes his income, I would assume, would be because of the way he draws and what he draws. And if that is against their narrative, that would make him just the same target.
Yeah, I know. Look, how's this? How about just leave me alone? Don't do that to me again. That bothered me worse than I let on. You know what I mean? Does that seem like an attitude that he might have adopted? It's
Maybe,
frustrating. It's
but that other
frustrating.
side, if you say leave me alone, I don't want to have anything to do with this, that is tantamount to siding with Comicsgate.
Yeah.
That's what they would
Timothy
turn it to.
Yeah, Timothy Timmons in the chat goes, "The Titanic was big." Yeah, it was. Would you rather be on the Titanic as it was sinking, or would you rather be on a little lifeboat rowing out into the middle of the ocean in the dark? I understand, but in one case, you're safe. You're safer than you might appear. Interesting. Wow, a lot of people, a lot of super chats. Let's see. Geek Chorus says, "I'm a quote angry jerk, and damn proud of it, Gail." Yeah, Gail Simone called Comicsgate a bunch of angry jerks.
And she doesn't like me very much right now. So
Oh, really? Oh,
yeah, she called out Comicsgate books, trying to say that all Comicsgate's books were trash. So I sent her a message. I was like, "Well, fine. If you believe that they're trash, give me a neutral address, and when Asgard is done, I'll send you a free copy just so you can judge if it's trash or not."
Mm.
And then she went on the defensive. Oh, well, I wasn't talking about you. You have talent and blah, blah, blah. I was like, well,
Right.
I'm still offering the book to make sure, just to show you that we're not trash. We're not pushing out a trash product.
She'll equivocate, get her to nail down exactly who she's talking about. When you say, yeah, those people, some of them are real, a few of them in particular are real sons of bitches, and you never actually say who you're talking about, that allows everybody who's listening to project who they don't like onto your words. I don't like Ethan Van Sciver. I don't like Ben Jones. Therefore, Gail's probably talking about Ben Jones and Ethan Van Sciver. And that's a dirty trick. She knows exactly what she's doing. She's manipulating her listeners, her crowd.
Exactly.
We
She
actually,
might, because she really was talking about Richard's book, and I realized that, but she co-joined Richard with Comicsgate. Therefore, all Comicsgate books are trash, and that's why I wanted to prove the point that I'm ready to step into the fire. And I'm probably the creator within Comicsgate with the least amount of notoriety, without maybe the exception of Nasser. So I was like, yeah, I'll step up. Here you go. Here's mine.
Mm.
Tell me how good or how bad it is. Tell
Yeah.
me.
And she's going to have to admit your comic is excellent. And by the way, most of our comics are excellent. And those that aren't excellent aren't going to probably do that well the second time around. That's the reality of it. And by the way, that's how we want it. That's how we want it to go.
Yeah.
We'll take another shot at it. That's called the marketplace. Anyway, yeah, I'm very annoyed by all of this. Very annoyed by just the dishonesty of it all.
Yeah,
Let's
it's
see.
pretty sad.
It is sad. Let's see. Midnight TV. Didn't know the like button helped. Here's some shekels as well. Thank you for $5. Thanks, Uncle Ethan. The fight would be darker without you. Midnight TV. Or Midnight V. I've been calling you Midnight TV like a dummy. You're Midnight V. I just saw the T and the V together and hallucinated an extra T. Well, that's the Berenstain Bears effect. Or what is it called? What's that thing where everyone sees Berenstain differently? Remembers it differently? I can't remember what they call that. Patrick Mao, I liked it more when you were on camera. Live streams are fine. I just don't like staring at the Hangout screen. Keep it out, or keep it up. Thanks. And then Pondimus Maximus offers $4.99 and says, I like the no camera streams, Ethan. It's not because you aren't an Adonis carved of marble, but because it adds so much to your mystique. To be honest with you, it's because I haven't gotten a haircut. So that is why, and I need a haircut really badly. That is why I'm not on camera right now. Speaking of someone who does not need a haircut, whose hair is immaculate at all times, we haven't seen him for a little while. I'm happy to have him back. Comicsgate is just assembling now. We're a big family. Sometimes we get into little arguments over dumb stuff, but we are a family. We all get back together again when it counts. Ladies and gentlemen, Edwin Boyette. Welcome back, Edwin.
Aloha. It's fantastic to be here.
Yes, it is. All the big boys are in the house tonight. It's great to have you. Edwin, we're talking about a very sad thing. Tonight. You know what it is, don't you?
Are we talking about Frank Cho?
Oh, yes, we are. 1,706 people are watching right now. That's an awful lot. We're talking about Frank Cho. Well, look, Frank Cho has denounced Comicsgate, I think, out of ignorance. He's called Comicsgate. That's it's more than, certainly, but it includes pretty much all of the 1,703 people. We go up and down every now and then that are watching right now. 1,700 people he calls a hate group. These people don't want to hate anyone. These people just want to buy comics. What do you think of that?
Frank Cho, Frank Cho came out. Frank Cho came out today on Facebook and said that Comicsgate is an alt-right hate group. Now, if you're in the audience today and you have some particular racial bias or racial hatred that you want to see manifested in the world, me and you don't have anything in common. If you're in the audience today and you have some particular hatred for anybody's sexual orientation or even for transgendered people, me and you don't have anything in common.
Speak.
If you want to see some sort of regression where the United States of America reverts back to something like Saudi Arabia, where women are second-class citizens, me and you don't have anything in common, right?
Mm-hmm.
Listening though to these progressives, one, alt-right has a very specific meaning, right? It is predicated upon this white ethno-nationalism and racial separation. Now, anybody who wants to tear apart our great American republic, because we are a diverse people now, and there is no way to go back to this. We're not going to separate out. Anybody who's talking about this isn't even a serious person. Richard Spencer, Vox Day, this is idiocy of the first order. Of the first order. There would be so much misery, suffering, and death, right? To tear our peoples apart and sift them apart. And then where would all my family go? Where would my wife go, right? She's a mixture of Hawaiian, German, Portuguese. Where would my nieces go? This is idiocy of the first order. And this will never happen. This will never happen in our great nation. Anybody espousing these theories is a ridiculous person, right? And is an evil person because it puts neighbor against neighbor. But the same thing, this gross progressive lens, right? That your Brevorts, your Alana Smiths, these wackadoodle know-nothings, these comic book makers are trying to push. This is the same hate your neighbor message, right? That want to divide people into ever smaller little cubicles and little subdivisions of race and religion, and we have some heroes for you but not for you, and make everything small, make everything crazy. This is the same version of the same idiocy. So these progressives pushing this twisted hate your neighbor message, right? That makes everybody crazy and sets everybody against all these little stupid, ridiculous issues. They have more in common. Gail Simone, Bill Sienkiewicz, Jeff Lemire has more in common with Vox Day than they do with Comicsgate. Because it's the same divisive insanity that sets neighbor against neighbor. Right? This is a failure of imagination. Everyone, if you have enough skill as a writer, right, and as a storyteller, you can create heroes that represent universal principles that appeal to all of us. And as we become a more diverse nation, we need these points of commonality to bind us together. And so rather than having hucksters like Ta-Nehisi Coates that degrade American symbols, like the great icon of Captain America, that where Alex Ross drags the flag on the ground, depreciates our symbols, sets neighbor at neighbor, person at person over these stupid ideological political divisions, we need things, as we become more diverse, we need things that we can have in common. Where does most of Americans have points of commonality? Popular entertainment. What these people are doing is a crime against America. It is, they're sowing division. They're breaking down the things that we have in common. And so they talk about diversity and inclusion, but then they set us at each other. Right? Just because they say that this is their goal, if you look and see what they're actually doing, they're dividing us. They're not bringing us together. These people are a joke.
Welcome back, brother.
I agree. I agree, hands down.
It's great to have Edwin Boyette back. Yeah, Edwin has a lot to say. He kind of kept it inside in his heart, and now he's bringing it. He gave it to you guys. Unbelievable. Thank you so much. Yeah, I agree. But we don't, at the same time, I don't think that we even need to answer these charges because they're absurd. I don't know people. I don't know people who feel the way that SJWs are claiming that we feel.
Well, you have to be careful with that, Ethan, because we within Comicsgate know everything that they're saying is absurd. but they have the bullhorn, they have the stage, they have the platform. Especially, if you look at the number of fans that each one of these singular voices has, they can preach to a very wide audience. And once that tidal wave begins of they must be a hate group, and once we get washed over by the masses, no one's going to ask the question, well, really, were they really a hate group, or did they fight for something else? And then we'll be in the dirt with the rest of the history. This is how movements begin, good and bad, where you can bring in the masses, and the masses continue to push out this agenda, continue to push out their narrative, good or bad. And once enough of the masses get on board with that, whoever they're against, they can be washed over. I mean, you saw it with Hitler. Hitler had a platform, and he got enough of the masses to be able to follow his agenda, and eventually enough were there to where the ones that were crying out for help were washed over. That's the bad. You saw it with Martin Luther King. He preached from a pulpit, grabbed a larger audience to connect with white America, which created a huge tidal wave and forced the government to do something about civil rights. You have two exact polar opposite preachings with the same level of audience to be able to wash over what's there, the enemy, whoever, I'll do my air quotes, the enemy, whoever the enemy is, or whatever the enemy is, and it can go away. And that's what I fear for our voices, because we don't have a large audience in compared to them yet, currently. So we can't just sit here and say nothing, because if we say nothing, we will die in a whisper. Our voices will die out. And in the annals of history, they will be written as,
Don't say that because Robbie Rodriguez is listening.
well, I mean, they keep bringing up
So,
anality. So,
can I ask Ben a question?
yeah.
No, yes.
See, I don't think social justice comes from the government. I think social justice comes from increasing people's empathy and compassion and commonality with each other. So if you look at like all the great strides that our nation has made, it becomes when people are able to look each other and say, yes, that's my neighbor, that's my fellow American, that this person has the same problems, the same struggles I do. Yes, I can feel empathy for this person. And then I look at these people that are supposedly fighting for social justice, and Gail Simone doesn't increase my empathy, right? Tom Brevoort, Alana Smith don't appear to create any particular appeal to compassion or kindness. It's always, they're doing the same thing that, again, that Vox Day does. They set up people as these boogeymen,
The enemy.
yeah, the othering, and they have this hate your neighbor message. So even though they claim to be talking about social justice, is the complete opposite, because it makes people have contempt for each other and disconnection from each other, suspicion, and they keep pushing these same old tired, it's, I guess we can't say cultural Marxism anymore, but it's this Marxist dialectic. I mean, it's this divide, separate, fracture on these lines, and let us exploit your anger, right? Your anger and your rage for our particular gain. And it's,
Yes.
I don't know, it's disgusting.
Yeah. And what I want to tell them, because they label us all as white, straight, Trump voters, and male. So I fit one of those categories because I am male.
You didn't vote
Well,
for Trump?
No,
gotta-
I didn't vote for Trump.
We got.
Oh, I guess I'm straight. But I rather vagina than penis. So I'm two of those things, and I'm not a big fan. I'm not a fan of Trump. And what I want to tell these people that consider Trump being the Antichrist, which I don't believe, you helped get him in office. Your agenda, the way you approach this, the way you attack people, you pushed the people like me, that I'm a libertarian, I'm usually independent on the fence, in between. You push people that way because I understood why people voted for Trump. He offered them something other than you've been getting. You know, if you only get broccoli and peas and the same thing over and over, and people keep telling you how good it is for you, and everybody says, okay, it's good for you, it's good for you, but you're tired of eating broccoli, you're tired of eating peas, you want something different, and somebody offers you a donut. It doesn't even matter if it's good for you or not. You're going to take the
Is it
donut.
a Enterman's donut?
Oh, well, let's not go there. Let's not go there. That's danger for me. I've already allowed myself pie. I've got half a banana cream pie upstairs, and you better believe I'm thinking about it right now. So let me get through some of these super chats. Please leave Nasser out. He can just shut the fuck up, says Chris Abrams. That's not nice. That's not nice. Optimus Deadpool. Ethan, check your Twitter DMs. I sent you an archive with the tweets still in it from the Bleeding Cool article. Gnosis, thank you for that. Gnosis for the Masses, $2 donation. Thank you. JM, the District 12 was him pretending anti-Comicsgate are David to your Goliath. That is crazy. Holy cow. Oh my God. That isn't. Hold on a second. That took my breath away. So anti-Comicsgate are David to my Goliath. Now listen, I am a large man. I'm a large man. Holy cow. All right, I can't even comprehend that. That is like, now, you know, that just took his Instagram post from like kind of funny, ironic, and we're worried that you might be misinformed, to just full on 180 degrees. That's a troll. He's trolling. Trevor Wright, EVS, Frank Cho is a coward for doing this, and he slandered all of us. I don't appreciate being called hateful. Trevor, I hear you, brother. I would take these words that he said, and I would remember them when you go to the comic store and when you take your wallet out. That's it. That's what I would do. I don't know what else to say. I'm shocked by it, but then again, you guys have to understand the conditions of the comic book industry. I wouldn't take this as personally, or I wouldn't take this as. Let me see. What's the word that I want to say? I wouldn't take this as a genuine expression of how he actually feels. I would take this as, oh my God, the comic industry is insane, and I better say the right thing right now, or I'm going to feel, 20 times what they put me through over that Wonder Woman cover, and that's real. That's real. It's no fun. It's no fun going through what I go through every single day in the comic book industry. It's no fun. It hurts. It's painful. Look at me. I'm one big callus.
That's the shackle that they put upon you.
Yeah.
Will cause you more pain if you don't align your views with ours.
I think I would be very careful before I called anybody Nazi or alt-right, because this is done to harm, injure, and silence people. This is the cudgel of the progressive political zealot. And
by the way,
go
I'm
ahead.
sorry, Edwin. The chat's going crazy right now. They're just like, and they're absolutely right. The chat is saying you can't call me alt-right or Nazi and it not be personal. Some things can't be taken back. That's Civ.
It is
100% correct. I don't take this personally, but it is a gesture of disrespect to us nonetheless, says Vision Storm. Pros speaking out are collaborators with Nazis, says WK. Let me just read some of these. I mean, the chat this is a passionate chat tonight. They are angry. Joe Maroney, well, let Cho make that argument. Until then, I take him at his word. So he's just like, look what Cho said. And I would do that too. People are saying I'm withering away. No, I'm not. I'm doing just fine. I'm eating a lot of pie. Cho got cucked out with that cover and is basically asking for more now, says Spooky Mulder. Tons and tons of people. Everyone is furious. You have to understand, when you do this, you're insulting a wide berth of people. I know that, when people say, well, Comicsgate, they're a bunch of alt-writers, they think they're only talking to me. You're not talking to me. I'm not alt-right. I'm not insulted by this. I've got 77,000 people who are next to me who watch my channel, who you're also insulting. You can't afford to do that. You can't afford to do that, and it's not worth it. It's not worth just having Renfamous not make fun of you. It's not worth Heather Antos leaving you alone. That's not a good bargain. That's a stupid bargain. I'd rather have Heather Antos call me names, continue to call me names, than have you guys be upset with me.
Well, calling someone alt-right or a Nazi is an act of economic and personal violence. Right? Somebody was asking me if it was the same as calling someone an SJW. In 2018, no one will be fired from their job for being called an SJW. You might even get a promotion in the right regions.
Does the
Right?
layperson know what an SJW is?
If you can successfully hang the label of alt-right on someone, you can probably get them fired from all sorts of different jobs, right? Particularly if you can document this well, you can harm somebody professionally, you can harm their chance of advancement, all kinds of things. It is an act of personal and economic violence to label someone as alt-right or a Nazi. And so it's not just a shoulder-shrugging thing. And so if you jump out and do that to virtue signal to your peers, if you're willing to harm people like that, there must be some sort of cost. We cannot accept this without countering it and without extracting some cost from the people who are saying these things. We need to extract an economic cost from Scott Snyder, from Marvel, from Bill Sienkiewicz, from Jeff Lemire, from Gail Simone. They must pay some sort of economic price for this behavior.
Yeah,
I agree.
Ben wants to know if everybody kind of knows what an SJW is. Well, what's an SJW? An SJW is a social justice warrior, which is a term that they applied to themselves. They no longer want to be called social justice warriors. They started calling themselves social justice warriors again on the internet around 2014. Now they demand that people stop calling them social justice warriors because when you're a monster, you don't want to label yourself in any particular way. When you're a group of monsters and you say we're social justice warriors, people will start calling you SJWs, and it's going to mean something different. They're not social justice warriors. They're antisocial, they're unjust, and they are cowards. So the term social justice warrior is ironic. We hang it around their neck. They are people who gather together and pretend to be concerned about people's rights. They pretend to be concerned about social issues. They're not concerned. They just use it as an excuse for their behavior, which is cruel, cult-like, antisocial, as I said. And they like to unperson. They like to harass. They like to dogpile. And they like to abuse people who disagree with them. And they do it all. They pretend that they're doing this for social justice. They pretend that they're doing this on behalf of the groups that they're fighting for. They repeat talking points. They all sound exactly the same. I mean, it's really strange. And basically what they do is they inspire people to fight against them, which is all you can do. It's basically all you can do. Social justice warriors have kind of taken over mainstream comics. That is why this is happening. That's why they use mob tactics to coerce people into behaving the way that they want them to behave, or else they are going to make your life very, very difficult. And they can do all kinds of things. By the way, calling Comicsgate a hate group is a very serious thing. I mean, what they're trying to do is they're trying to hang a label around Comicsgate. It's just because we want comics to not contain. You want to know how we know that comic books have become infested by social justice monsters? They're trying to call Comicsgate a hate group. And the reason why they're trying to do that is so that we can be unpersoned and face serious consequences. Hate groups suffer. Hate groups suffer from the law. There are things that you can actually do. They can actually influence your life in a real way. They can impact your life in a real way if you belong to a, quote, hate group. That's why they're calling Comicsgate a hate group. And why would they do that over comic books unless they were a weirdo far left-wing cult? Why would they react this way? Why couldn't they just say, well, we disagree with you, but it's only comic books, and this is another cultural battleground for them. They see this as a culture war. They see comic books as ground that they have staked their claim on. They are not at all interested in doing anything creative. Of course they aren't. We talked about this. They're not interested in comics. They don't love comics. Comics don't make them happy. Comics aren't a means by which they can express themselves in a creative and fun way. They're not out to make product that makes people have a good time. Not at all. That's not what they're for. That's not what these guys do. They're basically out to just use comics as a means to. They just want to be gatekeepers. They just want to stand outside of comics. They're doing the same thing with Star Wars. They're doing the same thing with Dungeons and Dragons. They're doing the same thing with the NFL. Even they're doing the same thing with. They're starting to do it with the WWE. They just stand there as gatekeepers. They want to punish people who are fans. They want to keep other fans out. They're very, very, very strange people. And if this wasn't a big deal to them, they wouldn't be calling you a hate group. They wouldn't be, trying to actually affect your life over your fandom. I'm sorry, Ben.
It's everywhere. It's been in WWE for a long time when they got rid of the Attitude Era. That was part of it. It's been in movies. It's in music. Comic books is kind of like the last vestige that they have attacked. And we at Comicsgate, and these are the type of things that push me toward Comicsgate. I've told people that I sat back for months and watched Comicsgate. I didn't join. I just wanted to see what was going on because I saw all the hate back toward diversity in comics. And from my point of view, he was doing a show. It was kind of funny. Kind of went overboard sometimes, but I took it as a YouTube show, and I moved on. And then when I started seeing all this hate that he was getting, so I was like, okay, let me see what this is. And I sat back and I watched. And the more I interacted with people from Comicsgate, I was like, wait a minute. This isn't a hate group. This what's going on? And here's the really thing. I'm betting every one of us that has used the hashtag Comicsgate is put into a little FBI file only because we have been labeled a hate group, and it's been said so many times they cannot just bypass it. They can't just say, oh, that's just comic books. If it's a hate group and somebody is saying hashtag comics hate, hashtag Comicsgate hate group or whatnot, I'm betting the FBI has a file on us because of it.
I hope they do. Let's see. This is all. They don't love comics, Ben. They don't love comics at all. Edwin,
they don't love anything.
They don't love this medium. They don't love the art. They don't love the characters. They don't love the history. They hate the fans. That's clear. They just told you they hate the fans. Nothing about comics makes them happy, Edwin.
Well, this is protectionism. But think of like all the conventions you've gone to and all the people that you've hung out with and met. How many of these comics professionals are just weird, strange, unsocial people? Now, imagine all the jockeying and smoozing and hanging out at each other's miserable company that these people had to do to get to their individual positions. And so they didn't get their positions. They didn't get their power by accident, thinking they're just going to walk away from it. Given that for a lot of them, it's a chance to manifest their own deeply held political opinions. I mean, look at Marvel. Look at Marvel from top to bottom. You call them SJWs. I call them progressives, political progressives, from top to bottom. All and everything is subordinated to their views, and they tell you this. They tell you this over and over. I mean, at some point you have to accept them at their own word, right? That they are progressive political zealots.
I'm prepared to do that.
There's no reason to believe that they would just walk away from this. So what you're seeing now is them trying to mobilize other progressive political zealots to engage in corporate protectionism. It is the strangest thing in the world. And before, you had to worry about leftists taking over the government, and they don't have to do that anymore. They can just go take over and subsume all these corporations, and you see it all over the place. I mean, there was just a video that was released from Google, after the election, The CEO, Jack Dorsey from Twitter, was just saying Republicans who work for his company don't feel safe to discuss any of their views at work. So you can see where these weirdos, where these political zealots have taken over all these various corporations so that they can control the stories that are being told, how they're discussed, how ideas are propagated throughout culture and so forth. And so when it comes down to it, Comicsgate is the only movement I've seen in my lifetime that has been successful at pushing back against this total control, this total ideological control of all communications, all storytelling in the United States. And it's not healthy for us to have anything be dominated by one particular ideology. Like, I don't want conservative comics. That would be pretty grotesque too. But these people don't want to surrender their power. So what we're seeing now shouldn't surprise anyone.
Yeah, not at all. Not at all. This is the thing. They're here to be gatekeepers. That's what they like. They like the idea of keeping people out. That's it. That's all they want to do. They want to. They didn't get in here to produce anything. They didn't get in here. That's why they don't care. That's why they don't care about the fans and saying, "Hey, you guys are Nazis. You guys are alt-right. You're a hate group." They couldn't care less about that. That's not why they're here. They're here specifically to exclude and chastise the fans. They're here to tell you you're on the wrong side of history. They're here to tell Edwin he must suffer for this. That's basically what they're here to do. They don't care. They don't care that their comics don't sell. Edwin, did you see? And Ben, did you see? IDW lost $7.4 million last year in the third quarter. I should say in the third quarter. What are they down? They're behind $12 million. What is going on over there? What is going on? And at the same time, Marvel Comics is actually selling the license to Spider-Man over to IDW. For licensing money? Why wouldn't they? Well, IDW is going to do a kiddie book of Spider-Man. Well, why wouldn't Marvel do that? And I'll tell you why. Because Marvel knows it would make less money actually producing the comic book itself than it would by actually taking a piece of the investors' money that are still. Why are you still giving IDW money, investors? Oh my God, why?
Well, it's crazy. Yeah, and this is part of it too, because if you look and see how some of these weirdos who are yelling at Comicsgate the most, if you look and see how their books are doing, like Jeff Lemire, he's writing Century for Marvel now. That's, I think, under 20,000 units shipped, and so we know that's probably less than 15,000 copies sold. I just checked on Gail Simone's Domino number 4. That is down to 23,000 units shipped. So that means that's probably under 16,000 shipped. So how many different companies can she go to and ruin these particular characters? Like, who did she ruin at DC? Firestorm, right? Ruin Firestorm. And that was by the time she was done with that, I think that was shipping like 17,000 units before they said, "Hey, you got to go. You got to go. You don't have to go away, Mad Gal, but you got to get out of here."
I was there. I was there. That was part of my livelihood.
So she's repeating the same pattern at Marvel, running, I guess, this iconic character Domino into the ground.
Unbelievable. Wow, we got a lot of huge super chats. Holy cow, guys. Thank you so much. This is nice. It's like it's my birthday or something. All right, let's see. All right, so Frank Cho's Twitter is still up at Apes and Babes, they're saying. Ian House says EVS is being very understanding. No, I understand why. I don't support what he's doing. He's wrong. I just understand why he's doing what he's doing. You understand? There's a big difference. He's wrong. This is cowardly. I don't believe that his argument, he actually holds it sincerely. I can't believe it because he's not telling the truth and because he's been through this. He doesn't understand who we are. I understand not wanting to be harassed, though. I understand that 100%. Sock Puppet Joe, thank you for $10. Cho probably doesn't want to get fired from DC. I am surprised he's a Democrat. McKinney, $95. It hurts to hear, but I still love Frank Cho's work and will still follow him on Instagram regardless. That is your personal choice, of course. Phil Ken 7 sounds like he's trying to get back into the mainstream, onto mainstream good books. Sad. Drunken Mowell, thank you for $10. Please don't set your streams to private. Love listening while working and can pause while I need to concentrate. Cyberfrog ×3, Iron Heights, Black and Red, Bigfoot Bill. Maybe make a new channel for streams. That's possible, but again, guys, I'll say it again. If you like these streams and you enjoy them and you want them to continue, just hit the thumbs up button as soon as you walk in or on your way out. Make sure that you click that thumbs up icon and like this stream, and that sends a message to YouTube that my content should be placed in priority and the whatever. I don't even understand YouTube. It's a mystical. It's really weird. But yeah, when I get a lot of thumbs up, that actually sends a good message to YouTube. So it's a quick little thank you that you can do, and I appreciate that. And obviously watch the live streams all the way through if you can. I appreciate that as well. I'll keep them up. It beats the hell out of my channel, but I love you guys, and I got to, I'm hearing what you're saying. Super Elite, regarding your live channel idea, consider making a 24/7 live stream chat with an open door policy. Comicsgate Live, a public forum for talent. What a great idea. That sounds like he will not divide us, though. Remember that? That would quickly become, a place for trolls to gather. But it would start out with a good intention. Joe Marone, facts don't care about what's more fun to believe. That's right. Star Wars Radio, break your live stream up into 10 5-minute videos and label them part 1, 2, etc. That's one way to do it. Well hung and dung. I can't believe Howard Shakin is also in an SJW. His Black Kiss book has a trans person getting raped and later says she enjoyed it. Howard Shakin's a Democrat. He's not an SJW. He's an old school Democrat. I like Howard. Again, he's been beaten up recently too. And I think if in private, he'd probably have different things to say. It'd be fun. Next time I see Howard Shakin, we'll talk about that. Kaz5166, Ben's neat. He should be on more. Yeah, Ben.
Yes, I should be on more.
Yeah. Well, he's always invited. He's in you're in the room, right?
Yeah, it's just my work schedule. Usually when you're doing stuff, I'm either sleeping or at work. So this is like the first time I was actually home. I don't go to work for another couple hours. So
Ben, do I have your bio right? You grew up in the deep South. Did you grow up in housing or a single parent?
Yes, single parent and in government housing.
Government housing. And then you essentially pulled yourself out of poverty via the United States Air Force, right?
Yes.
Used your GI Bill and college fund to go get an engineering degree.
Yes.
And then who do you work for now?
I work as a contractor for NASA.
Okay.
Damn.
So
not NASA.
I think, yeah, I think if Marvel had a commitment to inclusion and diversity, they should take Captain America away from Ta-Nehisi Coates and give it to Ben. I think that would be just about perfect.
I would love that.
Because you've got someone with a different perspective, but someone who loves his country, right? And believes and understands the pathways of self-improvement and empowerment.
Ben is actually helping me design Trebuchet Alpha, by the way. When I talk about having top NASA scientists working with me on the gigantic Trebuchet that's going to send SJWs to Mars, listen, Ben's just one of them. I mean, so that should be proof. Nobody should doubt me when I say that. Yeah, we've got the top NASA scientists working here. Primark Sanguinus says, "You missed my super chat." I didn't miss anyone. I'm going down the list. I'm trying to catch up as quick as I can. Any super chats, they'll be read in order, and I'm plowing through them now. I want to make sure that you guys all of your voices get heard, and people who send super chats, they all get read. Ben is neat. So everyone likes Ben. Darth Bobcat, $2. Thank you. Have we had another Gale sighting in your yard? Okay, so I had a skunk in my yard yesterday, and people wanted that skunk named Gale. No, I have not seen Gale in my backyard. Gale the skunk. Unfortunately, fortunately, Gale escaped through a crack underneath the fence, and we haven't seen that skunk since. And I really hope that skunk doesn't come back because Andrea is extremely nervous. extremely nervous. She's like, I have to watch. This skunk's not coming back. There was nothing. It came here. It accidentally found its way into our yard. There was nothing good here, and it left. Kaz, but you never know. Vigilance. Kaz 5166. How can I be alt-right? I'm Canadian. A leaf. You could does it matter? You can be alt-right and still be Canadian?
Yeah,
right?
there's like Quebecois separatist and stuff.
Yeah.
So they have their own weirdness to deal with too.
Darth Bobcat, the alt-right are just SJWs who hate differently. Yeah. People say to me all the time, they go, you're combating, you're the opposite side. Or they say, just because mainstream comics have gone far left doesn't mean you need to go equally. I'm like, no, that's not what we are. We are a moderate, alternative. We are actually just, an ethical alternative to the far left wing. We're all neutral here. I mean, we all have our personal politics. Don't get me wrong. I will tell you over and over again, I'm a proud Trump supporter. But that doesn't make me have any problem at all with anyone who isn't. Ben is part of our community. I joke when I say I'm shocked that he didn't vote for Trump. Of course, we're friends. But I want to make that clear. It's okay. Trump supporters don't seem to be welcome in mainstream comics. Oh, you're more than welcome here. I love you. So I will say that, but that has nothing to do with the comics that we're doing at all. My comics are going to be politically neutral. If you gave Cyberfrog to just a random person and said, who do you think this person voted for? They wouldn't be able to tell you. And that is the whole point. Michael McLaughlin, $5. I want to buy Asgard, but I want to get the whole saga at once. Will that be available in the future? Please help. Plus, we need you all at conventions. Ben, what do you think of that?
The whole saga at once?
Yeah.
Whew,
Should he wait? Or is that going to be...
no, don't wait, because that's 200 pages, give or take, of book once the entire saga is completed. And especially with the final book, I was thinking about because I'm doing a 4-part miniseries. So the final book, I'm thinking about maybe adding an epilogue to it, or doing one condensed at the end. Maybe I might do that. It really depends on how well it sells and if I can continue making it. Currently, I think Asgard is over 13,000 with about 30 some days to go. So it really depends, because I'm not doing this to make money for my household. I do want to cut my wife off something off the top and do something nice for her. But I'm trying to make money to produce the product. That's what, the more money I make, the bigger and better the product I can make.
That's correct, yeah. And that's it. That goes double for the trebuchet, huh? I mean, we can make the more money we raise for a trebuchet,
Yes.
the bigger and better it can be. Trebuchet Alpha needs to actually stand athwart the Andes mountains. It needs to be enormous, and it needs to be aimed just at the right spot. Can you and your fellow NASA scientists please work on that? People are concerned. People are concerned about SJWs burning up as they leave the atmosphere when we fire them to Mars. Can you think of an alternative? Can you think of a way to keep them alive, or should we just fire them right at the sun? Please go work on that and get back to me. And the specs for the trebuchet as well. Whenever they come in, those would be helpful. Okay.
Yeah, unfortunately, firing them at the sun doesn't really work. You'll probably just end up in some weird orbit. You probably won't even hit the sun. But Mars is doable.
Mars is doable. That's okay. That's good news. Zeke, $2. Edwin's speech equals Jeremy Fine animation. So Jeremy's probably in the audience right now. Jeremy, if you want to animate Edwin, have you done Edwin yet? Is there an Edwin caricature? There's got to be. I haven't seen it. Yeah, it's time to caricature Edwin. Primark Sanguinius, please talk about Chromosome 96, not E-drama. Chromosome 96, I think, is your comic book, and good luck with it if it's on Indiegogo or Kickstarter. Maybe we'll get you in here. F and Craig, $2. Smash more likes, need more live streams. Yeah, make sure that you hit the like button, please. How cool is it? We've got 1,789 people watching right now, Edwin. Can you imagine if this got 1,789 likes?
Well, that'd be amazing.
Yeah, it would be.
This is, well, you start to realize how, I've got a fellow Hawaiian here, Bro Sidon 1138. Aloha from Maui, Edwin. Aloha back at you, brother.
Mm.
You realize how large Comicsgate is, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes I have, and I try and tone it down because I have bitterness towards people like Sienkiewicz, Lamont, and not so much from Sienkiewicz because he's kind of an old curmudgeon. I get it, and people like Pant Zurcher is kind of addled, so I get it. But guys like Quesada and Lemire and definitely Scott Snyder, 95, maybe 99% of the people in Comicsgate are just decent, normal people that aren't shouting at anybody, aren't using any profanity, right? That want to treat people with respect and kindness. And they're not even much part of this, right? As far as they know they're sick of this stuff, but they're not saying any mean things to Heather Antos. They're not saying any mean things to Gail Simone or Tamara Bonvillain or Mags Visaggio. I don't even particularly care about Magdalene Visaggio. I hope she has a wonderful life. I hope she finds all the happiness and all the success that she can find. She doesn't make anything I love. The only time I particularly care about that person, that woman, I'll call Mags a woman, that woman is when she's calling for violence against somebody or she's talking about some socialist nonsense or something. Other than that, she doesn't make anything I love. I don't care about her. But some of these people like Scott Snyder, right? I would love to have them come in. I wish Scott Snyder come on in to Comics Artist Pro Secrets. I don't know what time zone you're in. Maybe it's close to 10 o'clock. Is he East Coast or a West Coast guy?
I feel like he's New York, but I could be wrong.
New York. Okay, so it's about 10 o'clock. I think in Quesada, isn't he in New York too? Come in here and tell Ben Jones about his participation in the Ku Klux Klan. I've heard he's a grand wizard in at least 3 different chapters. I've heard he takes a weekly luncheon with Richard Spencer as they plan out the next phase of the alt-right. Come in here and tell him what a horrible person he is. Come in here, I'll put my wife on, and you can tell her what a scumbag she's married to, right?
Awful.
Come in and tell all these people. Maybe bring in a Salad Man, right? Saladin, right? Who was taunting people like, oh, an Arab guy writing Spider-Man. Come in here. We'll have you talk to Nasser Rabadi, right? A Palestinian, Jordanian, an Arab American, and he can tell you about his experience as a first-time comic creator with Stardust, and he did it with the vigorous and enthusiastic support of people, and sometimes even taking a bunch of ribbing and a bunch of abuse, and he succeeded, and he didn't have anybody to go on morning television and say what a commitment there was to diversity. He didn't have all this corporate fanfare, and he succeeded right out the gate. And people love Nasser and love to hate Nasser, but either way, he succeeded.
They love to hate him, yeah.
Either way, people want to give, yeah. But I would love for all these people, Scott Snyder, Jose Quesada, I know you listen to, or Joe Quesada, I know you listen to this. Come in here, we'll file people through, and you can tell them what scumbags they are, right? We'll just make a line of people, and you can say, Ben Jones, you're a scumbag. Katie White, you're a scumbag. Antonio Bryce, you're a scumbag. Ben Henderson, just saw you came in here. You're a scumbag too. You're probably doubly a scumbag.
Well, Ben Henderson is a scumbag.
I miss you. And
by the way, hold on. Let me clear something up. Primarch Sanguinius just said, it's not my comic book, Ethan. It's another comic skater named Lewis Michael. My mistake. I didn't know that. I don't know anything about Chromosome 96. Please send it to me my way. Send it to me privately. Let me educate myself, Primarch. I thought I heard that it was a comic book. Okay, let me do that. Let me read some super chats here because we've got a $50 super chat from Tim Collins. Thank you so much. I will use that to help pay off the Jabba the Hutt sideshow toy I got. Edwin, it's a Jabba the Hutt sideshow toy. It's his whole. It's got. Edwin, he's got little pillows and food. He's got the little frog that he. It was almost $800.
Oh man.
Wow!
and I put down $79 on it. And I have to pay off the rest of it, but I'm going to review it on a live stream. This $50 will go towards helping pay off that Jabba the Hutt. Tim Collins, thank you dearly. Let me read your super chat. America is the most armed nation on earth. It cannot be taken by force, only by division. Look at the Gulf of Tonkin. Look to the Gulf of Tonkin. USS Liberty, 9/11. The money paying these people to attack you all comes from the same place. It's a war against freedom. Custom Songmaker, thank you for $20. Social Marxism is the opposite of empathy. They use people as pawns. They chemically castrate and sterilize kids and call it trans hormone therapy. They promote that in Plastic Man, and Twitter ban us for having the empathy to say it. Wow, these are all. We're very heavy tonight. We're very political tonight. Thank you for the super chats. Appreciate that. Let's see. Smash more likes. Evil Coffee. Oh, Vile Corruption YT says, you keep missing my super chats, but no problem though. LOL, shit happens. Vile Corruption, I looked. I didn't see any more super chats from you. I scrolled up. I can see them all. I think I've gotten you. I think I've taken care of you. But absolutely, if I didn't, I am sorry. 1 second here.
How much was this Jabba the Hutt again?
It was $795.
It's awesome. I'm looking at it right now.
Yeah, you're not kidding. I looked at it for 6 months and finally decided to pull the trigger.
Dude, you need to talk to a guy named Model 316 on Twitter.
I know him. Yeah.
Yeah. And he's been trying to put some of his stuff out there because he makes stuff for movie studios and does all this amazing modeling. He's looking at getting some kind of Indiegogo going maybe in a couple of months. He wants to like increase his ability to do 3D printing so he can make like low cost merchandise for Comicsgate professionals. Yeah.
Well,
I want some of that.
Yeah, I love it. But this Jabba the Hutt, honestly, it is Jabba the Hutt is my favorite Star Wars character. It's my favorite scene from any Star Wars movie. Is the whole thing from the beginning of Return of the Jedi all the way until the skiff with our heroes on it is flying away. It is the greatest sequence, I think, in Star Wars. I love it all. And seeing that Jabba the Hutt perfectly, I mean, it's going to be big. The thing is going to be huge, and it's going to sit on my desk. We'll review it together. I looked at it for a long time. I talked to my wife about it. They made fun of me for saying, you can't just spend $800 without your wife's permission.
Well, no, you have to. Yeah, you have to have that discussion. We have a rule, actually, in our house that we talk to each other before we spend $50.
$50 is...
Yeah, and it just kind of cuts down on impulse spending.
I can blow $200 without talking to Andrea. I can go out if I want to go to Lucky or something and pick up some jeans and clothes. I can blow $200 and just say, oh yeah, $200 on clothes. But yeah, $800, forget it. Oh my God, that would be a big problem. Anyway, Evil Coffee 5, thanks for $5. It is now confirmed Frank Cho has no principles. He can choke on the ashes of his former career. Woo, lad. Ragmuffin, $2. How about communist street shit? Communist street shit. What is he referred to?
Is that like Antifa or something? Is that what?
I don't know.
That's what it sounds like. Salvator Edwin is the future voice of Lone Star. Good to see you back on Comicsgate Live, brother. I'll echo that. I want to say hello to Donald. Donald, hello, Ben.
Hey, what's going on? Sorry, I had to leave so abruptly. One of my kids woke up with a night terror, and I had to go help de-escalate that situation.
Oh no! Sorry to hear that.
That is rough, man. You got to be a dad first. You got to do your thing.
Oh yeah.
JM says, reversing myself, you might be Katniss. Katniss from Hunger Games. Evil Coffee 5, they won't stop until there are speakers on the street corners telling you you're a racist every minute of the day. Custom Songmaker, I read that one. Rookie Critic, $5. I'm just eagerly awaiting for the few comics I backed. They'll be my first experience with comics. You guys pulled me into comics. Marvel and DC never could. Rookie Critic, we love you. Thank you. Christian Girat, $1.99. Caps should get a Marvel license. Yeah, I'll take Ghost Rider. Sure, that
would be your first one, huh? That's your first Marvel?
Yeah, that would be my first pick. Ghost Rider or the Hulk. And if I can afford it, you know, if they want to license me Ghost Rider, yeah, I'll do a 4-issue Ghost Rider mini under my own banner. Michael Connor, Dean Cain is one of us and is a regular on LWC. What's LWC?
I don't know.
I don't know either. Dean Cain, yeah, the Superman. Mark C, Uncle Ethan, check out the prototype of Sideshow's new 6-scale Batman figure. Looks like your rendering was the reference for the sculpt. Wow, that's cool. I'll take a look at it. Sock Puppet Joe, $10. Thank you. If you don't mind me asking, how can a newbie like me become a comic book writer? Okay. Well, here's what you got to do. You got to get out there. You've got to have an idea. You've got to find an artist to work with you, probably for free right away. And you guys you've got to write something. Sit down, write a comic book, and then learn how to get it published. You know, that's not too difficult to do. But you can watch us and you know, always kind of pick up what we're up to. It all starts out with you working in indies. If you want to work at the big two, you have to work at the indies first. Clip024, archive the live streams on another channel, please. Ian Howe, $4.99, thank you. I need a clip of you saying, quote, Gale escaped under the fence. Well, that's why we're going to keep these live streams up. Feel free to do that. Crossface, $5. Love these streams, Ethan. Keep it up. And F these pros that say I'm homophobic for being Comicsgate. I'm bisexual, for Christ's sake. Well, yeah, I mean, look, we have lots of LGBTQ fans here. We do, and that's reality. And we love them. Rebel Scum Radio, Edwin's early address needs its own video, brought a tear to the eye. P.S. Has anyone ever worked on The Phantom? Started reading it again after 20 years. I know the guy who draws The Phantom. His name's Alex Sabiuk. He used to draw Spider-Man in the 80s. Edwin, yeah, we should just cut your video out and make it a separate video. What do you think of that?
That sounds ridiculous.
Might do it. I'll clip it out. You know, we'll leave it on its own for people who want to hear it again. It gets you pumped up. Colween, what's up, Eaten Pie Skyber? Somebody who watches movie web articles. Darth Bobcat, Edwin, I want to apologize. When I first saw you, I took your vids debating alt-writers as support for it without watching them, and I prejudged you. Wow. I seen a video of you debating like some alt-writer before too, and I was like, whoa, what's Edwin doing? And I was like, yeah, I mean, you're just like, look, Edwin's under the Edwin doesn't understand. Edwin thinks that everyone's an adult, and Edwin thinks that you can converse with people who you disagree with without that being an implicit endorsement. Edwin is wrong. You can't do any of that. You cannot debate someone without appearing to endorse them. Right? I mean, that's the world we're building for ourselves.
Not these days, anyway.
Yeah.
I don't know. I kind of disagree with that, because if you debate them, especially in public forums, such as Twitter, Facebook, or in YouTube, whatever it may be, you're not debating that person. You're debating with everyone that can see those posts. And that's how I try to approach these guys, because I know the audience is a lot bigger than that one person. And I'm trying to show to any lay person that decides to, hey, what's Comicsgate about? I'm trying to show them that it is not what they are proposing that Comicsgate is. I am not just necessarily debating with this person or talking with this SJW, but every other person that decides to look in and see what has been said.
That's, that is true. But unfortunately, the world doesn't seem to work like that. I mean, they will still attack you as though you are endorsing those views. They'll say, why did you let them air their views?
I had
a platform.
Ethan, I had a young woman message me on Twitter today, and she said, Edwin, you don't really know me, but I've got these SJWs going at me, and they're trying to defame me, and they're trying to paint me as an anti-Semite. And she had liked something. I guess child abuse is very personal to her, and combating it is something she's very passionate about. And she had liked something where somebody was talking about child abuse, railing against it. And they had combed through her timeline, and they were trying to tie it some way to paint this woman as an anti-Semite. This is the evilness and the lowliness of these people's spirits. And these are people who are trying to troll Comicsgate and stuff were trying to slander this woman and attack this woman as an anti-Semite, and it's the furthest thing from the truth. And so she asked me, what I should do, and I'm like, well, if you engage with these people, they're not going to stop. They're going to try and twist everything. Anytime they see someone talking to them, for the most part, they're going to try and pursue that person, try and make you miserable. Please just block them and don't give another thought about it, because they're not trying to have a conversation with you. They're trying to attack you spiritually, trying to attack your reputation, and trying to silence your voice. It's evil and it's horrible, man. These people are grotesque. These are the people who claim to be in pursuit or advocates for social justice, right?
Mhm.
For inclusion and so forth. The people who are just making people insane. It just seems like an effort. Like, these seem like damaged people, miserable people, and they want to inflict their misery and damage on the rest of the world until we're all pulled down in the mud with them. We're all miserable and hate life. This seems to be their aim.
I agree. People are telling me, "Hey, look at Joe Quesada. He's at it again right now."
Really?
Yes. Joe was answering a tweet from a while ago to me. He says Renfamous. Well, I said Renfamous harasses. Well, he said Renfamous, you win a nose prize. I said Renfamous harasses Comicsgaters, the people you're trying to win over. Comicsgate is the creative community working to please the fan community or the customers. We aren't joining this other quote unquote creative community that you seem to refer to that mistreats customers on Twitter. And Joe said, "Hey man, apologies. I meant to answer this post last week, but with all the great conversations I've been having with fans over the last 10 days or so it got lost in the shuffle." Well, I mean, I'm glad that I got your full attention. Anyway, since you seem so focused on Renfamous, who's just a fan, I have her on mute. I'm not focused on Renfamous. Maybe even someone who would have bought your book. Oh, she's going to buy my book. I'm not worried about that. She's already bought it. I finally had time to take a look at her feed. Man, oh man, is she saucy. She is. But I can see where she's coming from. She's also been attacked, harassed, impersonated, and much, he says in capitals, much worse. You get the point. I don't know what's worse than that. You'll have to spell that out for me. She also seems to give as good as she gets, even adding some sharp humor, roasting, and facts. It's all good. He says, but hey, dude, if what she says bothers you that much, do what I do. Just ignore it. You're bringing up Renfamous is only getting Renfamous more and more followers and making her more and more Renfamous. Anyway, hope you're good. I'm looking forward to Cyberfrog in November. Yeah, Joe.
Who said that? Joe Quesada?
Yeah. First of all, good. I want Renfamous to get more and more followers. I want, absolutely. I want everyone to coagulate around Renfamous. I think that would be a great thing for Comicsgate.
If she gets 10,000 followers, does Marvel have to give her a job?
That'd be fine. I think they absolutely should.
Yes, they deserve that. Yes, that would be amazing.
Now, I agree. Renfamous is saucy, and I don't know if she's been attacked and harassed. I haven't seen that. I've seen her, giving as good as she gets. So that's not really attacked and harassed when you're actually in the middle of a fight with a bunch of people. That's called a fight. That's not called attack. That's called being in a fight. And as for sharp humor, roasting, and facts, I agree. She's very, very funny. She's great. I enjoy her. She is a Republican operative, or was, which I thoroughly enjoy. I think we need to get her back working with the Republicans so she can actually help us win in November. And she doesn't bother me. I mean, not at all. It's just a fact that she does harass Comicsgaters. But that's okay. Everyone harasses Comicsgaters. She says, do what I do, ignore it. I do for the most part, but I check in maybe once a week. Yeah, I'm glad. You are going to be looking forward to Cyberfrog in November. I think you'll enjoy it. Joe Quesada was around when Cyberfrog was, brand new. So, he was a New Yorker, a fellow New York guy. But it looks like he is fully on board with Renfamous. And that is awesome. Good for you. Good for him, I guess. I don't know. All right. So there, check that out, guys. Let me see. Let me get back to these super chats. Every one of chose outrage covers trolling Ruckett and Rodriguez was and is a public declaration of support for Comicsgate's goals, says Jason Kalpanen. I agree. Absolutely. And Bogus Fortune, $5. Ben, any chance for military support tier for Asgard? Ben?
I've thought about it. I'm still talking. I need to talk with Mike Miller about how he did it. I have been thinking I got to work the economics on my side to do something like that. But it has been asked for me a couple of times, so I would really like to do something like that.
Excellent. Purge says for €10. I always see the euro sign and I think it's a pound sign, so I stumble over that. So for €10, hi Ethan, I made the Alpha 1. I was shocked to see it used. Thank you. He made the big image of the Alpha 1, which is awesome. Yeah. Thank you. I have an unboxing of the First Order TIE Fighter that I bought for £45 after your review. I'm backing 4 books so far. Thank you, Purge. And I hope you enjoy that TIE Fighter. It's gorgeous. I have it. I look at it all the time. I just unboxed the TIE Silencer and did a review of that with Ava. So I'm going to post that pretty soon today. Greg Bowen, $5. Saladin Ahmed says that we don't own Spider-Man. What they don't realize is that they don't either. They're the caretakers of legacy. They need to start acting like it. Man, that's a wise post, and that is absolutely true. These characters have existed for decades before us, and God willing, they will exist for decades after us, but only if we take good care of them. And that's when Edwin Acevedo says, Ethan, check out Twitter. Joe Quesada's at it again. Joe wants more attention. Gojirify, $2. Hail Edwin. Hail Caesar. Thank you, Gojirify. Hell says for $5, will Edwin be voicing one of the remaining humans with heroic speech at the Cyberfrog animated movie? Yeah, that sounds good. Are you willing to do that, Edwin?
Absolutely.
And the last one, Gojirify, $10. I remember when I was a kid, I thought comics pros were larger than life. They created my dreams and fed my imagination, but now I see how small they are. Leave Comicsgate alone. Wow, Gojirify.
That's. I was just thinking that before that came through. Was people like you, EVS, Joe Quesada, and others during that time frame, they were my heroes. These guys were doing what I always wanted to do, and it saddens me in many ways that now these guys look down upon people like me that want to do the same thing as they have done, create comics the way we want to create comics. How hard is that? It hurts, It's like, wow, I've actually gotten my skill up to the level to where I can do this. I can actually do a comic. I can do what my quote unquote heroes have done. But I am looked down upon because I don't have the same views as they do. Doesn't matter about how good my product is. It doesn't matter how well I can draw, how well I can write. It's you're with those people, therefore you can't be with us.
Yeah, definitely. All right. Who's in the chat now? Well, we got a whole bunch of more people here. Who do we got? Count off. Let's see here. Oh, hey, Kanan. I was like, who's drawing that exquisite piece right now?
Hey, guys. How you doing?
That is gorgeous. Great to have you on board. We got Ben Hennessy here. If you just joined us, we've got Nasser with us. We've got Edwin Boyette. We've got Donald, but Donald's being very quiet right now for some reason. He doesn't have a lot to say. And we've got Ben Jones, obviously.
Donald, why are you so quiet, man? You should be excited. We're $133 away from being fully funded.
I am excited, but I've just got my phone muted because I'm having breathing issues tonight, and I don't want to turn Ethan on.
Oh yeah.
But I'm very excited. We're so close to being fully funded on day 3. It's exciting.
Congratulations, fellas. That's great.
Thank you.
And today I approved the digital proof for Stardust, so it's on the way.
Oh, really? That's fantastic. Great.
Be the first book fulfilled for Comicsgate.
Yeah, it's either me or Zach, because he just said that Ironsides was on the way.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's gonna be Zach. I think Zach's got his thing in, and it's gonna be out before you. I'm sorry, I'm distracted. I'm looking at a bunch of different stuff here.
Yeah, but
Excuse me.
he's got a job though, and Nasser doesn't. Plus Nasser has like 84 siblings
Mhm.
living with him, so he's got a nice little sweatshop in there that can help him.
Midnight in Exile, thanks for $5. Those guys always look down on us, Ben. SJWs just gave them the ideology to rationalize it. They always hated us. Wow, smoking.
It might be true.
Yeah, that might be true. All right, let me answer Joe Quesada. Should we do it? Should we do a tweet here?
He's still talking?
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Let's see. She's fun. All right. Hey, dude, if I'll answer his last tweet. Hey, dude, if she bothers you that much, do what I do. Just ignore it. You're bringing up Renfamous is only getting Renfamous more and more followers and making her more and more Renfamous. Let's see. Yeah. Let's see here. Well, she's rude to the fans. But in a funny way.
You said she's a cosplayer, right?
Yeah. No, I'm not going to post that. I won't do that.
No, I'm just like, it's just funny, man, like how much power a cosplayer has over professional people. It's just kind of blows my mind. Like, man, she's not even, I mean, she is a fan, no doubt. And I mean, they make the difference, man, but I mean, they shouldn't have that much sway.
Well, no, it isn't that she has sway. It's that she's clever. You know, it's like some people have like a high IQ. Renfamous has a high IQ. She's very smart, and most of them don't. I don't know if you've spent a lot of time talking to comic book professionals. I mean, other than me. But most comic book professionals are not like me. Most comic book professionals have very low IQs. And you would find that out. I mean, being creative and being a creative genius is one thing, but actually getting into a conversation and outflanking people and getting into having these debates and coming out, making the other side look kind of dumb is impressive. That takes a high IQ. Renfamous has a high IQ. She's a Republican operative. She worked for the RNC. And yeah, I mean, she's good at what she does, which is, just clowning on random comic skaters every single day, and then just kind of posting what I'm saying. Like, she took my new post where, let me see.
Sometimes people are too smart.
Oh yeah, no, I mean, look, this is great. This is cool. All right, she took my post where I basically said Frank Cho was harassed and fired from his job because of moral busybodies who thought this square inch of his Wonder Woman cover disrespected women. Frank, you don't need to join us. We'll fight them for you. #Comicsgate. And of course, she just like retweeted this and said, "Oh, so brave." Well, I mean, someone's got to do it. So that's her. She's not very good with me. She's got me one time. She got me one time with the Muppets thing, which was hilarious. So she's very good at this, and she's great at it. I think honestly, Joe Quesada should probably give. Well, I don't know.
She's not so great at it. She had to remove all of her YouTube content because she was harassing people. Right? YouTube made her do that. She's had to remove a lot of stuff from Twitter. She just has time to harass people.
What do you mean? Why did she removed her YouTube content?
Yeah, absolutely, because she used all of my stuff, and it was a trademark violation. And she took my guys contacted YouTube, and then they let me know that it was taken down.
She got shut down pretty good today. She posted a picture from, I can't remember what it's called, but this chick is just like wearing a little skimpy schoolgirl uniform and really long blonde hair. I think her name was Sugar something. She posted it and made fun of it, saying that the designer has never seen a woman, and the character basically looks like waifu pillow material. So the actual creator of the character, the designer, stepped up and was like, "Hello," and she was female. And the picture that Renfamous was dissing on was drawn by Sashi.
Wow, that's sad.
But she got shut down pretty hard by the designer. That was great to see.
I didn't see that.
Hey, by the way, guys, in the description below, if you want to support Ben Jones, if you like the things that he had to say tonight, you should. The link to Guard Chapter 1 is in the description. You've already met your fixed goal. You're at $13,506. Congratulations for that.
Thank
That's
you.
fantastic.
I'm trying for 500 backers at least. That's what I would like to get. It's not even about the money at this point. I want 500 backers. I want 500 people to be able to read the book. That's my thing. I want to get it in as many hands as possible.
I mean, that's great. I think you're going to do it. By the way, Brutus the Badass. We've got both of the creators with us right now, Donald DeLay and Nasser Rabadi. Brutus the Badass is only $25 away from meeting its fixed goal of $8,000. We're 99% there. So basically, the next person who buys in at Brutus the Badass is going to make this reach its fixed goal.
Yeah, next
which is
person is
fantastic.
going to be my favorite person.
Yeah, the next person, and you'll be at 216 backers at that point. Link is in the description if you want to back Brutus the Badass. We would love to see that get funded tonight. That would be cool. Everyone is talking about that right now in the chat.
I completely forgot that I was muted, but I was like, nice. Oh, I was
Somebody says a creator and Nasser.
Everyone's mad at me for saying nice things about Renfamous in the chat. Sorry. Yeah, you know, I mean, what are you gonna say? I mean, I don't like her, and I don't think she's a nice person. She's definitely not a nice person. What did Frank Cho do? Frank Cho basically came out against Comicsgate today. Warren JB. It was very sad. Rookie critic, $10. Pitch. Jason Momoa is an old werewolf warrior that fought many battles, but now is a lazy ass enjoying modern day until an old foe comes around, and he might actually get off his fat ass and fight again. Okay. Is that a movie? Judas Sleaze goes, EVS gets BTFO'd once and thinks she's a genius. Well, seriously, once is enough. O'Sheen, absolutely disgusted by Frank Cho now. Oh, guys. What do we do? How do we keep our sense of humor about this?
I really don't think he knows anything about Comicsgate. He's probably like that old dude. He's like, it's a what?
Most don't, though.
He probably just heard about it yesterday when one of his friends was saying something to him, and then he had to go post him.
What's funny is when you mention the fact that it's diverse and that it's full of different people, and you put the picture up and you show people's tweets about it that are diverse, they still it's like they don't see it. It's like, man, like you just like overlook the tweets and overlook the. This is kind of like, man, like this is the very thing you're wanting. We're doing.
When they do that, then you know it's about their job.
That has to be it, man. I'm like, you just like blatantly like just don't acknowledge it. I'm just like, okay, well, whatever.
Somebody in the chat says Mike Diodato has started a convention boycott of Comicsgate.
What?
I don't know what that means. What does that mean? Comicsgaters aren't allowed to go. He's not going to go if Comicsgaters are there, or what the hell is going on with Mike Diodato? Teammate 69 says just back Brutus. Oh, no,
nice,
no.
Awesome. Thank you
so much.
May I say something about conventions, Ethan?
That's
yes.
great.
Right. So listen to me very carefully and very closely, please. I'm not telling you. I'm asking you. If you go to a convention in the next weeks and months, and you see someone from Marvel or DC, and maybe it's a personality who's been saying horrible things about Comicsgate or about some of the creators around Comicsgate. You know, maybe they've been saying all kinds of horrible things. If you interact with that person, be courteous, be kind, be respectful.
That's right.
Don't lose your temper. Don't shout at them. Don't use any profanity. Nothing like this, right? Extend them more patience, compassion, and kindness than they have showed to us. Right? Be our best ambassadors. Be the best version of yourself, and see if you can change their mind with some kindness. If nothing else, be the best version of yourself, and embody these things that they claim to fight for, rather than making claims. Let's be these things. Right?
That's right, man. I totally agree, dude. I mean, it's almost like within the whole thing, killing with kindness. Like the only, and again, somebody mentioned it, they're usually doing it trying to save face, protect their job. It's like the only aggression I've seen, whether it be online or in the news or on the internet, is from the opposing side. Like, of course you got fighters in our group, man. That's just their nature. John, he's a fighter. I know Ethan, man. You have a blast of just like responding to people, which is kind of funny. But all in all, man, I mean, we are basically taking the blows, and it's like, we haven't really attacked or, even when somebody posts something, man, it's just like, you know what, whatever. And it's almost like they keep trying to pick a fight, man. And like I told somebody, man, it takes two to argue, man. And then when a person that's not arguing, it reveals the person that's actually the aggressor, and it makes them look silly. And they kind of do their self-damage, It's like you don't even have to do anything. So let it play out, man, and watch it implode.
Yeah, I did that recently to a guy. He's been on me pretty bad. He's trying to hold me accountable for anything anybody else says in Comicsgate. What I started doing was like, well, here's the real question, and I want you to wait for it because here it comes. Have you bought Asgard yet? And it fires them up. They lose their mind. But what I try to do is I offer them the book. I'll talk to you nicely as long as you come at me respectfully and you don't, you're not trying to get all crazy. I'll talk with you, even if you have opposing views, because I mean that's how I feel things get solved. But until you come at me, if you come at me disrespectfully, I'll just say, "But have you backed Asgard yet?" Now,
I just responded to Joe Quesada. I just tweeted out. So if you want to check it out, I said, you ignore at Renfamous. You should hire her. She attacks your fans on Twitter, which makes her 100% qualified for a job at Marvel editorial. Hashtag Marvel hire Renfamous. I hope you dig Cyberfrog. Let me borrow Ash for a guest appearance. So everyone feel free to retweet. I love the hashtag Marvel hire Renfamous. She is absolutely 100% Marvel editorial material. So there you go. Love you guys.
Ethan.
What?
So I see. I just looked up that Mike Diodato Jr. thing. He says he won't attend any convention if anybody attending supports or is associated with Comicsgate. And then I see Gail Simone replies, "I'm in too, Mike. You're the best."
Awesome. So they won't be at the convention. So I'll be there. I'm at Tampa MegaCon. Dixon's down there.
Right. We got nothing to worry about.
Come kick me out. I'm down there Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
Dude, all the normal, or not normal, all the typical airheads reply to this. Like Heather Antos is like, "Dio, you are amazing. Miss working with you, dude."
Well, that's
all the usual suspects are on here.
Good.
I'm gonna post the Brutus link on this thread.
They're a separate industry. We don't got to worry about them.
Silliness.
Bad news though, Renfamous. That means a pay cut. Yeah. Oh, what are you gonna do? Means a sharp pay cut.
Mr. Van Skyver, I need to spend some time with my missus.
Well, I am. I'm about to sign off. I think we did the Lord's work tonight, and all of that. So I want to thank everyone who participated. I want to thank you guys for the super chats. You guys are the best. Comicsgate forever. And hold on a second. Let me just finish tweeting this. Comicsgate and Marvel hire Renfamous.
I want to thank everybody that's backed Brutus so far and everybody that helped get it to its goal. I'm so happy. You have no idea how happy I am.
Congratulations again.
Yeah, guys, thank you for backing.
I'm not gonna cry like Mike.
I think some tears are called for at this point. So listen, everyone, thanks for being here tonight. I will see you tomorrow. Did I get all the super chats? Let me just make sure. I don't want to hurt anyone here. People get sad. Tumacalypse asked Ben about his Squirrel Gods codpiece. Go Jirify EVS. Loved your Jessica Cruz artwork. Tyler Preston, thank you. Pitch, a group of teens are thrust into a hidden world of the supernatural. They're given powers to fight evil monsters, whether human size or the size of buildings. Power Rangers meets Buffy. That's great. Chance, $2. Mute that damn chair. Go Jirify. So good to see Edwin. Everyone's happy to see Edwin. O'Sheen says, absolutely disgusted by Frank Cho now. I got everyone's super chat. Thank you guys so much. I'll see you tomorrow night, and I'm going to post a toy review video right now. Take good care. Bye-bye.